So they take one of the little square pencil sharpeners that we've all had for a long time and they stomp it. They grab the little blade and they start cutting themselves. What this does is, when they put it on social media, they get a ton of pick-me-ups. Oh, you're so perfect, you're so beautiful, you're so awesome. Right, because everybody sees that they cut themselves. What does everybody else learn? When I'm having a bad day, I know how to get pick-me-ups. They just start cutting themselves. That's why so many people do it. The problem with this is, we can't tell between the ones who just want attention and the ones who are suicidal. Nobody can. So we have to treat them all pretty seriously. I made a fake Facebook account of a student at the school. It took me about 10 minutes. I friended 20 of the most popular kids there, mostly girls. They all accepted me in like 10 minutes. Not one of them asked who I was. It was, here you go, you're accepted, you're our friend. All right. After I had 20 of the most popular kids, the rest were cake. Not only was it easy for me to friend them because I had 20 friends in common with all of them, they started friending me. Within about 4 or 5 months, I had over 500 kids at Lewis and Clark Middle School that were friends on my fake account. That's cray-cray. Now, on that fake account, they started wishing me a happy birthday on my fake birthday. Hey, happy birthday. That was kind of awesome. But as we went and as I regurgitated more information, that's all I did. I don't think I had an original thought of my own, just reshare. Kids started private messaging me. Now, I never talked back to a student because that would be kind of creepy. The rest of it's not, but that is. They would send me private messages and say, hey, do you have a Kik account? That's what was big back then when I first made it. Hey, Kik me, and here's my Kik account. Kik me was just a messaging application that tied cell phones with wireless devices who didn't have cell phone service. So Kik me, or do you have a text us? We're going to go to the mall, or we're going to a bonfire. We'll give you the address. And they started inviting me and giving me information that they shouldn't give me. Now, as we went, it's like, this is pretty dangerous. And I'd been told, hey, you have a fake account. Don't let anybody know because it's super secret, and you can see all kinds of coolness with it, which I could. But I decided, hey, it's more important to keep these kids safe. So what I did is I decided to let all the kids know that I had a fake account, and they were my friends. So I started going into classrooms, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes. Hey, raise your hand if you have social media. And as they get there, oh, you know what? Never mind, put your hands down. Officer Gomez already knows who has social media because I have a fake account, and y'all are my friends. And they would, oh, Officer Gomez, that's gross. I feel like you're stalking me. Makes me feel all dirty inside. Right, and I'd say it is gross. But I'd say that next 16-year-old Justin Bieber kid you friend, that could be Officer Gomez. Right? That next hottie girl in a bikini by the pool, that could be Officer Gomez. How do you like me now? Right, and then I'd say, within 2 miles of Lewis and Clark, there were 12 registered sex offenders. Within 5 miles of Lewis and Clark, there are 30 registered sex offenders. And that's pretty much the same for anywhere that we have in the valley. And that's just the ones that we've caught. How hard would it be for those guys to make the same fake account that I did and friend all the kids? It wouldn't be hard at all, and some of them actually already had. What I did with the success of my first account, after a lot of kids deleted me, I made a second Facebook account. I made it of a 13-year-old girl. Okay, it's super clean and painfully obvious she was 13. It was a birthday like every 3 weeks. Yay, I'm 13. I can have a real Facebook account. Yay, I'm 13. What I did differently, first of all, I had to add friends. And what was cool is I added friends. Some people were not accepting me anymore because I'd already trained them. Right? So I started getting banned from Facebook from adding people. The first ban was like 7 days. Hey, you've added too many people you don't know. You're banned. All right. Right, then pretty soon it was 30 days. Then pretty soon it was 60 days. I still got some of them. They either didn't care or they hadn't been through my class yet. But once I had enough, I opened it up to friends of friends. Meaning if you were friends with my kids at Lewis and Clark, you could be my friend no matter what age or where you were from. What started happening is I started getting 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old men started friending my 13-year-old girl. Now, she's not in anybody's church group. She's not in anybody's soccer team. She's not related to anybody. There's no reason for adults to friend her. So I'm like, what is going on here? It didn't take long before somebody private messaged me. He said he was a 26-year-old Marine sergeant. He's a sniper in Afghanistan. He's currently in Afghanistan. Spends his days up on rooftops. Needed somebody to talk to, and I look like a pretty nice person to talk to. All right. So we start chatting. Within about 15 minutes, this Marine sergeant asked my 13-year-old girl if she would send naked pictures to him. By the way, they always ask for nudes. That's going to be the terminology. Hey, will you send me nudes? I'm like, I'm 13. I just left it like that. And it's like, yeah, send them to me. No, I didn't send him anything. He didn't care. Kept on the conversation. The next day, when we started to converse again, he says, hey, do you really live in Meridian, Idaho? Yes, I do. He says, well, I graduated Meridian High. My parents live there, and next week I get to leave on an 8-month, since he's been there 8 months, he gets a 2-week something or other. He says, because we've been such great friends, here, we've known each other 12 hours. Because we've been such great friends, I would really like to take you out on a dinner date to say thank you. Okay, so here's a 26-year-old asking a 13-year-old out on an unsupervised dinner date. I thought it sounded like a fun thing, so I said, yes, I'll go out on a dinner date with you. So we agreed to meet at our big park, Settlers Park down in Meridian, a week later. Sure, okay. And he sent me a picture of the menu of the nice restaurant he was going to take my girl to, the nice car he was going to pick her up in, the nice dinner jacket he was going to wear. Okay, that's all fine. But as we progressed, he said, oh, well, when we meet, is it okay if I give you a hug? Sure. Is it okay if I kiss you on the cheek? Sure. Is it okay if I hold your hand? Sure. And then we started to progress to very graphical sexual things he wanted to do with this 13-year-old. So which my answer to everything was, yeah, I'm 13. I've never done that before. Sounds like fun. Because I know when we go to court on any of these things, their first thing is, well, I didn't know she was 13. In the conversation, it says it 152 times. It's 13. Okay, so date night came. This was actually our first one. I don't think anybody had done that before. So date night came. He met us right on time. When I introduced myself as Officer Gomez, I told him he was under arrest for felony enticing children over the internet, which is a pretty big crime. I put him in the back of my car. I read him his Miranda rights. And then I asked him a couple questions. Hey, dude, where's your car? I don't have a car. Well, how'd you get here from your house? I don't have a house. Where's your phone? I don't have a phone. You're like a homeless guy. He's like, yeah, I've been homeless for about 3 years now, just couch surfing. They let homeless people in the military? He goes, I've never been in the military. He made the whole thing up. He was an actual homeless guy. Now, I did a search warrant on his 2 Facebook accounts, which I had found, which is the only thing he owned was Facebook accounts. And I found he was going to the Meridian Public Library every day. And he was friending about 100 different middle school girls. High school girls were too old already, just middle school girls. Friend. About 90% of those girls were accepting him. Now, anybody that accepted him, he'd just go, hey, right down the line. That's what kids say, hey. Anybody that said, hey back, or do I know you, they got the same paragraph that I did. Hey, I'm a 26-year-old Marine sergeant. I'm in Afghanistan. I'm a sniper on rooftops, and so on. You know, the first 6 or 7 volleys of conversation were the same as what he had with me. But what I found with this search warrant is that about 20 different girls had sent them nude photos of themselves. All middle school girls. 2 girls had actually met him for sexual encounters. Middle school girls with a homeless guy. That's cray-cray. All right, now, because of that, the mayor asked me to see if we had a big problem or this was just a one-off thing. So myself and another officer, that summer, school resource officers don't have much to do in the summer. Usually they send us back to patrol so we can remember how to arrest real people. But that summer they said, hey, you 2 are going to see if we have more predators. So I went back to my office at the school, and I had a special phone, and I made a Yik Yak account, a Twitter account, an Instagram account, a Meet Me account, a Whisper account, an After School account, a Snapchat account, and everything else I could find. And I parked 13, 14-year-old kids on there. That year, or that summer, between my account and one other person's account, we arrested 16 men from the local area who came to meet us thinking they were having sex with 13, 14-year-olds. Okay? One of the people that came to meet us, 50-year-old BSU lacrosse coach. One of the guys that came to meet us was a 40-year-old registered sex offender who'd spent 7 years in prison for raping two 13-year-old girls. Okay, a lot of these people, you wouldn't think they are who they are. One of the guys who came to meet us, when I arrested him, it was at the Walmart parking lot right by my school. I saw a ring in his truck. Hey, you married, dude? Like, no, I just have that rolling around my truck. It's like, look, I'm no genius, but you got a tan line. You've been wearing that. Well, I have a fiance. Okay, when's your wedding? I don't want to say. When's your wedding? I'm going to figure it out. Oh, it's tomorrow. That was a super awkward conversation with his fiance. In fact, it took like 5 minutes before she stopped screaming at me thinking it was a joke. But it was no joke. Okay, 16 guys. 2 of those were from out of state. All right, and in reality, I could actually meet a different person every single day. The issue is that once we arrest those guys, it takes a ton of resources to do search warrants on computers, on phones. And almost always, once we do search warrants on computers and phones, we find real victims. So then I have to call other agencies. Hey, will you go talk to this girl? We believe she's been a victim of this. Will you go talk to this boy? I think he's been a victim of this. Not only are predators doing it, that are adults in the community who your kids don't know, the other people preying on young girls is their own classmates. Right? The upperclassmen. So if you're in middle school, the older boys will hit up the younger girls. Hey, send me a naked picture, send me a nude. And the girls a lot of times will say no initially, but then the boys always say, oh, you know what? Maybe you're not as mature as I thought you were. Talk to me in a couple years when you're a little older. And then they talk the girls into sending it. But nowadays, so many kids are sending it that it's easy to talk the kids into sending it. Other girls now are trying to get nude pictures of other girls just to bully them. And what they'll do is they'll copy one of the senior football guys' Instagram account and then suck one of the girls into Snapchat and say, hey, send me a nude. And they think they're sending it to the hot football player. They're really sending it to one of the girls who doesn't like them, and then they spread it around. Okay, there's limitless ways this is happening. Limitless ways. So males are using young female relationships. Young girls, it's their first relationship. They want to be trusted, and they want to feel older and mature, and the older boys know this, so they use that against them to get nude photos. And I kind of learned this. I had an 8th grade girl come into my office just bawling her eyes out. Officer Gomez, no boys will ask me to the dance and none will talk to me. Now I knew who this young lady was. She was a very cute girl, strong LDS girl, very strong in the community. I don't think she'd ever cursed in her life, and she always wore clothing from head to toe. So all the boys in her own class already knew there's no fun there. We're not even going to ask her. So now enter a boy from a high school, actually a high school in a different city, who starts talking, oh, you're really pretty, and I'd love to take you to the football game. We can share a popcorn. I'll take you to the movies. We can hold hands. He just lays it on thick. So then when he asks her for nude photos, she says, no. It's against my family. It's against my religion. It's against my everything. All right? And I saw the whole conversation, and she tried to hold up for a bit. But then in the end, all he said is, you know what, look me up in 2 years when you're a little older, and I might take you out still because I really think you're cute still. You're just not old enough. So then she did, against everything she knew, she sent naked pictures. Right? It broke my heart because she didn't tell me. I actually found them when I was looking for somebody else's pictures in Nampa. But this same story happens over and over and over again. So at Lewis and Clark, where I got all my training, I would teach them in person, stranger danger, don't talk to people you don't know. Online, it should be 1,000 times that, don't talk to people you don't know. So my 11, 12, 13-year-old boys get contacted by a haughty 15-year-old girl that they don't know. A private message in whatever application. How many 12, 13, 14-year-old boys that get contacted by a hottie are going to say stranger danger? 0. Right? It's usually, how you doing? Even boys that have had this class, how you doing? As they start talking to this girl, they start a relationship with her after they've known each other forever, at least 15 minutes. Hottie girl starts laying it on thick. Hey, you're super cute. I can't believe I met you. You're the greatest guy ever. To show you how special I think you are, I'm going to send you a special picture. And I want you to send me one back. And then this hottie 15-year-old girl sends the boy a picture of her with no shirt on. And asks the boy to send one back. How many boys do we think send them back? Every one of them. Once she gets the topless picture of the boy, she says, hey, I'm going to send you another picture. And she sends a full nude picture. ask for one back. Now, all the boys don't quite send it back, but a lot of boys send a full nude picture back. After this class, I have parents go check their kids' phones, and they would bring me the phone like it's toxic. Officer Gomez. Some girl sending my 12-year-old naked pictures, and he's sending them back, and it's the grossest thing ever. Make it stop. So we started an investigation, and 2 different cases, actually they were both 6th graders, 2 different cases. We ended up arresting a 25-year-old man in Iowa and like a 38-year-old man in Kentucky. So adult men who are predators and want nude photos of young boys, they know they can go onto Google and download a series of pictures of a pornography star who's 18 and looks like she's 15. And they basically take her identity. There's this girl at the mall, there she is with her fake family at Thanksgiving, there she is at the park, at the school, and they start talking to young boys, and they know that when they send them a picture first, they will always get a picture back. Now, what do they do with these pictures? Aside from self-pleasuring themselves, they also use them to join online child pornography trading groups. The trading groups require people to upload 5 original child pornography images. That keeps the police from joining the club, right? That way we can't find out who they are. And they have very easy instructions. Here's how you get your first images of child porn so that you can join our club. And once they join the club, they're trading all over the world. And this happens over and over and over again. It also happens, the same trick they use on the girls too. Somebody will go to a Las Vegas stripper show website and they pick the hunka guy who's photoshopped a little bit, and they start talking to young girls. They send a naked picture first, they get naked pictures back a lot. A lot. So since you guys brought up the topic of nude pictures, let's talk about nude pictures. Okay, if you are under the age of 18 and you take a nude picture of yourself and you send it, share it, show it in any way, shape, or form, that's now child pornography. And the code specifically is dissemination of harmful information to minors, which we call, dissemination of child porn. If you are in possession of a picture of anybody under the age of 18, also illegal. Okay, the first time you get caught, either one of those is a misdemeanor crime. The second time is a felony crime. Right? For people who don't quite know what those are, you have a citation, which is like a speeding ticket. You can't do jail time for a speeding ticket. You can do jail time for missing your court dates on speeding ticket, but not for the speeding ticket. That's a citation. A misdemeanor is up to a year in jail. Anything above that is a felony. So your second time is a felony. The thing about nude photos, and I tell the kids, hey, you send out a nude photo, it's like putting a tattoo on your forehead, because it's forever. In fact, a tattoo on your forehead, you could actually have laser removed. You can't get the pictures off the internet once they hit there. And we run into this more and more and more. 2 summers ago, I had a 22-year-old Marine recruiter girl come in and say, hey, Officer Gomez, I got an email 2 weeks ago. Said, hey, they had a naked picture of me. If I didn't send them $500 in iTunes cards, they were going to share my picture with everybody. She said, I've never taken a naked picture, so I didn't send them nothing. About a week later, about 2 in the morning, she'd accepted somebody on her friends list that she didn't know. That person posted her naked picture to her own account. She had forgotten that 7 years earlier, she'd sent one naked picture to one boyfriend. That was it. It lay dormant for 7 years. And then this guy put it to her own Facebook, her own Instagram, and emailed it to all her workers down at Gowan Field. So a pretty horrible thing. Now, we were able to deduce some things, but the reality is that she never knows when she has to deal with that again. And we're seeing more and more sextortion where a girl in high school sends out a naked picture. She'll go through college, she'll go to get married, and right before her wedding, about a week before, hey, we have a naked picture of you. What's it worth to you if we don't share it with everybody? Or you go to get a new job or any big event, and then the extortionists come out. They're not even waiting till then. I have guys in high school that are already extorting girls. Hey, somebody gave me your naked picture. Send me a new one, or else I'm going to spread this one all over the place. All right? It's crazy. Okay, so these are the sexting laws. This is more for my law enforcement class, but they are there. Both the sender and the receiver who still has a naked picture on their phone gets in trouble. All right, so then parents, well, what if my kid gets something unsolicited? Well, make sure we delete it or let law enforcement know soon so that we can educate everybody and take care of that. Now, if you have a picture on your phone of a child that's more than 3 years younger than you, so let's say a 17-year-old has an 11-year-old girl naked picture, that's a felony first time. Now, I've actually had to arrest an 8th grade boy for multiple times collecting naked pictures of classmates. That's a middle school kid in handcuffs. Had to arrest a 9th grade girl. Same thing, multiple times sending out naked pictures. Right, and the way that looks is you call her down to the office, hey, did you send out a new naked picture of yourself? Yeah. Didn't we talk about this twice before? Yeah. This one's different. No, it's not. Well, he said he loved me. Didn't the last guy say that? Yeah, but this one's different. Yeah, you're going to juvenile detention, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Right, and that's a trip down to juvenile detention because she's just not getting it. Because when they send those naked pictures out, it puts our whole school and our whole community at risk because now we got people coming from who knows where to see this girl because now they have their naked picture. They come and park at the school with binoculars and they want to see what the girl looks like in real life. Right, it's super dangerous. Very hard to get pictures deleted off the internet. Once they're on there, trying to get them off is like trying to unscramble an egg. Now, the sooner that you let police know, if you've sent out naked pictures, the sooner you let police know, the sooner we can do something about it. Right? So if we can get it pretty soon, what we do is we'll call some of the people that have, hey, do you have a naked picture of this boy or this girl? Nope. Whether they do or they don't, when they leave my office, they're going to tell everybody they know, Officer Gomez is hunting for pictures. So not only does that kid's pictures get deleted, but so does everybody else's. Every once in a while, I got to start the rumor that I'm hunting for pictures just to start deleting pictures. Okay? Now also, if we catch you with nude photos on your phone, we take that phone as evidence. With a lot of phones, even if you delete it, master reset it, there's no way to know if it actually deleted the information. We have a cool machine in my office. I can get your deleted texts and pictures for like the last year. All right, so we never give the phone back. There's only 2 ways to know for certain that you can get the pictures off a phone. The blender method and the hammer technique. What we're seeing now is Craigslist guys are calling people that are selling cell phones. Hey, I want to buy your cell phone, but I want to know who used it because I don't want it to have too much use. Oh, my teen daughter had it and she took care of it really well. Okay, I'll take it. And what they do is they're farming it for pictures. Okay, because sometimes they can find pictures on there. Sometimes the Verizon and the Sprint guys find pictures on phones that are turned in for upgrades. Okay, taking a nude photo on a phone is hugely dangerous. I have adult men who are offering money and or drugs to my high school boys if they'll send them naked pictures of my high school girls. And they offer extra money if they send it with a Facebook profile or an Instagram profile so that they can know who she is, where she goes to school, and everything like that. Right? And the going price right now is $250 a picture. Ridiculous. And we have lots of people like that. Okay, friends and classmates will extort, and so will creepy strangers. Okay, extortion can sometimes lead to human trafficking. Right? Hey, I have your naked picture, go out on a date with me. I have your naked picture, go do this, go do that. They just start blackmailing them until they're way in over their heads. So how big is the problem with naked pictures? Right? Because I'm telling you this, you're thinking, maybe 10 people in high school, 20 people in the high school. So high school girls by 10th grade, so about 15, 16 years old, 10%, 40%, 50%, 75%. About 75% have sent out their nude photo in one way, shape, or another. Probably a good 30% of those have sent them out to somebody they don't even know. Right, I'll go to another school. Hey, did you send out a nude picture? Yeah. Who'd you send it to? This guy. What's his name? I don't know. Well, how do you know who you sent? Well, his username is this. You don't even know his name? You're sending naked pictures? Well, I really liked him. How do you know it's not a girl? Right? How do you know it's not some guy in the basement somewhere? The janitor. You don't know. What about middle school girls? The thing about middle school girls is they always want to keep up with the high school girls no matter what. Right? Whatever the high school girls are doing, the middle school girls are doing. So how big a problem? 10%, 20%, 40%, 75%. I know you all are saying, I don't even want to see this. I don't even want to see this. About 40% of middle school girls. These are from actual numbers that I'm taking and numbers that I look up nationwide. I'm going and taking reports now from 10 and 11-year-old kids who are sending out naked pictures. 10 and 11. I think my record is a 9-year-old using Tap Tap Revenge, which is a musical game. She thought she was sending it to some like 15-year-old Justin Bieber looking dude. And I never did find out who it was, but it was probably some 50-year-old guy in a trailer somewhere. 40% of middle school girls, right? They shouldn't even have phones, right? There's no reason to give a kid a phone before 13. You're not supposed to have any of the social media. If you give your 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old daughter a smartphone with social media, I promise you that sooner or later, and probably sooner than later, they are going to get a penis picture from somebody they don't know. It's like, did he just say that? Yes, I did. All right, well, what do I mean by that? Okay, as they get on social media, they're going to get people they don't know. And for some reason, some guys like to send out their penis picture to everybody they can find. If a minor child, even an older child, when they have their shiny new iPhone that they just got after begging and begging and begging, they got their shiny new iPhone, they're talking to all their friends, it's the greatest thing ever. Now somebody sends them a penis picture. If they show mom and dad, what do they think is going to happen? Mom and dad are going to go to freak level 5 and take their phone forever. And that's pretty close to what happens. I know because I've called many a parent. Hey, your 12-year-old daughter, I just found that somebody's sending her pictures unsolicited. Oh my gosh, you know. And they always want me to go and find the people. Well, I think they're in Hong Kong or somewhere. I can't really go, well, hey, the flight leaves at noon. Right? A lot of times when parents call me, hey, my daughter just got this or my son just got this. Hey, delete it. Okay, now what? That's it, you're done. Well, what are you going to do? I just did it. I told you to delete it. Well, that can't be all. Yeah, on social media world, this is a new world we live in. Okay? If you give your kids smartphones, they're going to get child pornography. They're going to get adult pornography from people they don't know. How do you stop online bullying? Super simple. If you're getting bullied online, number one, block and delete and stop talking to your friends about it, right? Because if you talk to your friends about it, they're going to talk to their friends about it, and it's going to continue no matter what. Or number two is block and delete. Number three, the most important step in this that most people miss is let all your friends know not to send you screenshots. Right? Because they always get the block and delete part fine. They always get okay, I'll stop talking about it. Officer Gomez, I stopped everything, but she's still doing it. Well, how do you know? Because all my friends are sending me screenshots. Well, you have awesome friends. Okay? No, that's one of the steps. Tell your friends to stop sending you screenshots. Once you do that, they will move on, and quickly. Right? But that's part of, conflict resolution. Let's figure out how to do that. Now, I had an awesome parent. Well, in middle school, I had the Twitter fight of 2015, which is the 20 populars against the 20 populars. Every parent called me and wanted me to arrest all the other kids. As I'm telling all the parents, this is social conflict. Make sure your daughter's not involved. They're not old enough to be on the internet. They have 800 friends, all this stuff. One parent out of all of them said, hey, did you just say my daughter was involved? Yes, I did. Well, can you tell me what you said? And this, and this. Okay, I'll call you back. She called me back in about half an hour. She said, Officer Gomez, I'm sorry that I didn't have all the information before. They said, when we gave our daughter her cell phone, the number one rule is you'll never talk about somebody on a public forum negatively about anything for any reason. So she failed that, so we've taken her phone away. She'll get another chance a year from now when she's 14. Just about brought a tear to my eye, the parenting involved. Right? That was awesome. And it's super easy, and that girl just graduated last year. She never had a social media problem again. Never, not even close. So on Facebook, all you should ever see on your Facebook and your kids' Facebook, unless you have a business, is a name and a picture. And even the picture, I would implore that you guys put an avatar there. That way when you go to Taco Bell and the guy takes your credit card and he wants to stalk you later, when he types in your name, because you guys live in the same town, it comes up with 20 of your name, and he can't see your picture. It's a red balloon or a palm tree or a Ferrari or something like that. That's all you should have on your Facebook. That's all your kids should have as well. Meet Me. Meet Me is not one of the big four, but it's one that's important because there's lots of applications like it. Meet Me is geo-based. And what I mean by geo-based is, let's say a 40-year-old sets up an account of a 15-year-old boy. He's going to see all the 16 and 17-year-old girls and how far they are from him, starting at 500 feet. So once he starts this, boom, 500 feet, there's this many girls. At half a mile, there's this many girls. At 2 miles, there's this many girls. So what the creepers do is they make a fake account of a 15-year-old boy. They go down to the mall, and they can see what girls are at the mall. Right? They can see what they look like. They can usually link to their Facebook page. They can see what school they go to, everything. Snapchat. This is one of the worst programs ever. Ever, ever, ever. Now, why do kids like Snapchat? Well, the filters are pretty cool, right? You can have bunny ears or deer ears. You can throw up rainbows. You can do all kinds of things. At Halloween, they have the coolest stuff, right? I even like to play with those things. That's what's cool. The other cool thing is it deletes stuff for you automatically, so you don't have to worry about going through and deleting all your stuff before mom checks it. So when you send a message, it automatically deletes it from your phone, and the person who gets it, they bing, they get a phone, they put their thumb on it, okay, they get 10 seconds to see the message, and it's gone. Now, Snapchat now has a 24-hour timeline where you can put stuff on for 24 hours. Now, they recently, like 2 days ago, made another update, which I'm still getting used to. But the bottom line is that when boys are talking to girls on Snapchat, they always say, send me a nude picture. And the girl said, no, I don't want to send you one because you'll save it and show all your friends. Well, the boy said, well, send it to me on Snapchat. Because on Snapchat, if you save the picture, it lets the sender know that you saved the picture. Right? So the way boys get around this is they take a second phone. So when the picture comes in, they see the image and they take a picture of the first phone. That's the busted old way to do it. Nowadays, there's 100 applications that will save every Snapchat image. Nobody actually takes a picture of a picture because that's not as good. They save all the pictures. Now, the other thing that Snapchat does is it'll put your location, it'll put your temperature, it'll put your speed after you've taken your picture. The speed one's a little bad because now what I have is somebody leaving the school, they take a picture of themselves, they Snapchat their own picture while they're driving, and it'll say 52 miles an hour. Well, the next person got to beat that. So now I'm calling parents, hey, your kid's on the freeway doing 102 so they can Snapchat a picture of themselves. Cray, cray. All right, and it happens just like that. It baits them into doing bigger and worse things. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, so this right here, this is the new mapping. It's probably 6 months now. All these people are all the Snapchat friends you have. And you can track them live in real time. If they're moving, it actually shows them in a car. If they're sleeping, it shows them in a bed. I tell all the kids, Snapchat is my best tool for going to parties in the summer. Because I just look where all my kids are gathered, I'm going there. Right? You can actually set it to ghost mode, but a lot of kids want to know, everybody to know where you've been. Right? They got to know if you're at Dutch Bros or where you're at. But in the summertime, I really can look and see where everybody's grouped. So can everybody else. Right? The predators can follow your kid right to their house. You can turn it off, just like with everything else. You can turn them all off. Instagram. Instagram is picture sharing. You take a picture, you hashtag it with something, and you put it out there. Now, if they have an unsecured account, what happens is other people can hashtag. So a girl will put a picture in her cheerleading outfit. Somebody she doesn't know will hashtag her, hey, Friday Night Babe, or cleavage, or booty pic, or whatever. Now the whole world, whoever types in that hashtag is going to find your kid. Anywhere in the world. So parents, you have to be careful what information you give out. Right? Because you guys go to Hawaii, that innocent picture of you and your kids on the beach, to you and to your neighbors that you know may be one thing, but to a predator, it's a whole other thing. Right? They will Photoshop you out of there and have your kid on child pornography trading groups right away. You don't need to send your picture to strangers. And some people that you even know and think you know are creepers. So you have to be careful with those things. Location. All right? If you go to Hawaii and put hey, look, we're in Hawaii and we're at this for the next 3 hours, guess what? Your house is getting ransacked. Same thing with weddings and funerals. That's the big thing lately. When you put, hey, I'm at this beautiful wedding, somebody's going to your house. Not only are they going to the house, they know the names of your dogs. They've seen your house because you put it all over the place. They know your kids. Here's another super important thing you can do that's awesome. Number one, wait till 13 on smartphones. Please, please, please wait till 13. I'm starting to see more and more middle school kids who aren't old enough to use applications that change their lives. right? I had a 6th grade girl who sent a threat to the school. She put guns and she put a picture of the school. We didn't know it was a 6th grade girl, so they called me in at night. I hunted her down with, Instagram sent me all the coordinates. We went in 6 officers after a 6th grade girl. We don't know, right? She gets kicked out of school for the next year. She can't go to any school. That's a life changer, right? And the internet baits your kids into doing bigger and bigger and bigger stuff. Shoot, it baits adults into doing bigger and bigger things. They say all kinds of stupid stuff. Please, wait till they're 13, right? You can get them the jitterbug and all the non-smartphones, but wait till they're 13 to have their own smartphone. I get parents that call me, Officer Gomez, I don't have the password to my kid's phone and they won't give it to me. What? That's your phone. Right? So I said, look, okay, emergency situations only. The manufacturer of cell phones puts a little piece of paper in the middle of the phone that prints out the number. You get to it with a hammer in the garage. If you cannot get the password, you have to have the password to your kid's phone, and you have to check it, right? That's part of being a parent. Same thing as doing seatbelt checks. All these things are part of being a parent, and you have to do it. And we're kind of getting away from that because I don't know if we think the internet is raising our kids. It's not Officer Gomez. It's not the teachers. It's got to be parents. Snapchat, I would recommend 15 years of age for Snapchat, but Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those things are pretty much the same. You can get in trouble in all of them. So parental guidance, parental talks, and just talking with your kids and then just checking.